Welcome to the Remodeling Reimagined podcast, the podcast that gives you an inside look at the remodeling industry from award-winning designers. On this week's podcast, Cindy Cipriani sat down with designer Kend Endt to discuss some unique deck designs for outdoor living. Without further ado, here is your host, Cindy Cipriani.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Remodeling Reimagined. You know, we are in 2021 now. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Ken.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Cindy. Yes, it's great to flip that calendar and start looking forward.
Yes, and it's never too late or never too early to start planning for activities this coming year. You know, with the current situation that we have with the pandemic, so many people are spending more time outdoors because of social distancing. I had a couple conversations over the holidays with people that they just, created a big fire pit in their backyard. They bundled up, they sat 6 feet apart around a roaring fire, and that's how they got to visit everyone. Anybody in your sphere that's, your circle that's done the same thing?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's really just, it's the smartest, safest way, and being outside is great, of course, even when it's cold. And that's why a fire pit's awesome. But yeah, I was doing that with my sister and her family, and it just gives you an opportunity to connect with people a little bit more.
Yeah, so people are really looking to outside of their house to say, what are my options for outdoor living space? And we really think that this is going to be the hot ticket item this coming year, along with remodeling the inside of your house. But today we're specifically going to be talking about some unique designs for outdoor living. So we'll be talking about decks and pergolas and, all sorts of living spaces. So one of them is decks. So if you have an area outside, preferably like outside your kitchen, outside your living area, you could put a nice deck out there. And Ken, what kind of materials, designs could people be considering?
Sure. A deck, and like you said, if it's right off of your kitchen or your living room, immediately it's like you're extending your interior space and you're connected that much more closely to the home and being outside. So it's like you're adding square footage in many different ways. And so a deck can be made out of pressure-treated lumber. It can be made out of more of a specialty lumber like mahogany or ipe. Those are very dense woods that are going to hold up to the elements very well. And then you have your synthetic products like composite, and that is a combination of wood pulp and plastics. And then a PVC is another synthetic, where that's just made entirely of plastic. And that has some advantages to a composite and vice versa. So the experts here can let homeowners know more in depth about the difference between those two. But the one thing that I like most of all about PVC is that it is completely recyclable at the end of its life cycle, whereas the composites, because of those embedded wood fibers, are not. So if you're thinking green, it doesn't exclude plastic products. And the fact that PVC is completely recyclable, I think, is one of the reasons why I prefer it.
Yeah, and the maintenance is great on that too. A lot of people have older decks that are already there, and maybe they're at the end of their life cycle, and people haven't really been using them very much, but now people are having company over and they don't really want to put them on that old deck. Maybe it's too small and it only had room for a small table, and now they're saying, well, gosh, I would like to have more family and friends over, but I need more space to socially distance. So let's, expand the area and make it larger. Or we could make it several different tiers so that we could have tables on different levels, and then families could sit together in those spaces and still be all in the same deck. Even older decks, if they are large enough, some of these composite materials come in a way that you can put it over the deck so that you don't have to completely redo it, but you can refresh it. Same thing with railings. Railings are going to make a huge difference in how that deck looks. You can modernize it. You can add some features to it. So what are some of the things that, original things that they could do with like railings and added features, Ken, that people may consider?
Yeah, railings can really add to the aesthetics and the function. And so by aesthetics, you can have a railing that is more modern in style. So an aluminum spindle is definitely part of that look. There's different railing caps, the profile that can speak to a certain style of your home and just the expression that you want to make with your deck. But for me, I think having a glass railing is the most functional, the most amazing, because it's like there's no boundary. You can see right through the glass and beyond. It just kind of has that sense of being more expansive. If you have a property where you get to look out at your garden, or if you're at the shore, maybe the bay, or nice hilly location, a glass railing is that obstruction-free experience.
Yeah, even looking out from the house, like from your kitchen looking out, sometimes if you have a railing, it really obstructs your view, whereas if you had glass, you could see right through it.
Yes.
So that's a great thing to do. Now, being outside, and especially in the summertime when it gets hot out, there's different things that people could consider as far as being in the shade. So we do want to protect ourselves from the UV rays. And so there could be a roof system put over part of the deck. There could be a pergola. There could be some kind of awnings or shades attached to the pergola. Maybe you could tell people, if they're not sure, Ken, what is a pergola?
A pergola, yes, is very simply starts with a vertical structure. So think posts that come up, and it can be over your entire deck. And very often it's more so just over a portion of the deck. But from those vertical posts, you're going to have boards that are spaced every so often in either one direction or in both directions. So with those overhead, it is blocking out part of the sun every amount that they're spaced, and it provides a little relief from the heat, from the UV rays, and particularly those that are crisscross. Think of like a lattice type pattern. You're going to get more shade, and it still gives you that sense of openness because you still see the sky, and airflow remains very good too.
Yeah, it's nice to have those, especially near like an outdoor kitchen area where you may be cooking, or even built-in bar areas so that people can sit and have a drink. They can eat outside. And if you have that little bit of shade over it, that really helps with the sun and, just taking down that temperature a couple degrees. But you could also have a roof system put over your deck or patio. And a lot of our past clients who've had decks with roof systems are now calling to have them either screened in or have a system put in that are their windows. They're actually like vinyl windows that have their vertical units. It has like 4 different vents to it, and they go up and down, and they have a screen behind it. So that way you could leave your outdoor furniture outside. You can close them when it's raining, or you can open them just part way up or down in different weather conditions. So people who have existing covered decks or patios could have these type of windows installed, and it really turns it into more of a 3-season room than just an outdoor space. So I know I have several clients that we've done that for, and they use it all year round. We even had one in Mullica Hill that was a very large outdoor deck addition. We put a roof over it. We put in these windows, and they put a huge stone fireplace in, and they actually use it all winter long also. So that's where they've been having company, and social distancing is out on this beautiful space.
I love that idea of being able to add a fireplace to really extend the seasons that you can use your covered deck area. You think, okay, screens, that makes a lot of sense. That's going to help keep out the bugs. So I'm going to get more summertime use and just the thought of it, especially on a colder day like today, just want to cuddle up on around a fire outside would be really great.
Yeah, and they actually had like huge beanbag chairs right in front of the fireplace. It's so cozy. So we do want to extend our outdoor living to make it so that we can go out there even in the wintertime. And with a roof structure, we can actually make that happen. There's also things like if you had a 2-level deck, you could have one coming out maybe from your bedroom. That would create a roof structure for the deck below it. And you could put a spiral staircase up to that second floor, which really adds to the attractiveness of that space. So there's just so many things to consider. The main thing is to have somebody come out who has experience doing all of these different constructions and designs, and talk to them about how you're going to be using the space, how many people will be there, what seasons you want to use it. Actually, measuring table sizes to know how many people you could seat at that. All these different considerations are going to come into play, and you can really have fun this year designing an outdoor space where you can have friends and neighbors and family over and really celebrate another year all together, hopefully.
I love that idea, yes, celebrating a new year. Throughout
So no
the
matter,
year.
yes. So no matter what style deck you choose, you can reflect also the lifestyle that you have and the style of your home, because we want everything to blend together. So I hope that you learned some ideas on how to have the perfect outdoor living space. And thank you again for joining another episode of Remodeling Reimagined.
Once again, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And if you're looking to start a remodeling project, you can learn more about our design process at Cipriani Remodeling Solutions.com. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.